Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer. Happy Monday morning! Alright, so it's Monday. And on Mondays we share our makes for the past 7 days, give or take. It's usually give or take because, you know, sometimes I record this on Fridays, sometimes I record it last minute on Sundays like I am today. Pumpkin Spice is very happy. She's giggling in the other room, so she needs to go away. She just got home. She was out with a boy. He's not a boyfriend. He's like a best friend. They've been friends since high school and very nice young man. Anyway, he's always been respectful to me. So, what have I made this week? You guys already know about this hat because I made the tutorial. This is the Vivid Dreams hat and cowl set by yours truly using Sweet Roll Vivid in the color Glowworm. It's beautiful, it's bright, it makes me happy, it makes me cheerful. So I made these two. Very easy tutorial to follow. Bubbles, cuteness, love it. So I made that. And in between making that, you guys know that I was working on a baby blanket or a toddler size blanket. And I was using Mandala Ombre from Lion Brand in the color Tranquil, which is a beautiful rainbowy color. And I told you guys that I was getting a lot of, I was using a resin hook. I was using this hook. And this is a, I think it's a divot shope or a Omi hook. These are my favorite hooks. I was getting a lot of buildup. And I talked about this in the members video. Whew. I'm getting really hot. So my face is turning red. So if I start to turn really pink, you'll know why. I was getting a lot of residue buildup using this with the Mandala Ombre. And I asked you guys, have you also had that problem? Because this is my first time using Mandala Ombre. And a lot of you said, no, you've never had a problem. However, you use hooks that are metal, not resin. And a few of you said, yes, you have that problem, have had that problem. And then I talked to my sister. You guys know Paprika. She loves Mandala Ombre. She has used it quite a bit in this colorway, as a matter of fact. And I don't remember all what she's made, but she really loves this yarn. So she's worked with it a lot. And I asked her, I was like, did you see my video? Like, have you had a problem? She's all, I have not ever had a problem with that yarn. She said, why don't you use your new hooks? The metal ones from, these are Susan Bates hooks. These are the Twist and Lock. So I did a review on these and I really, really love using this hook. However, I noticed something today when I was almost done with this blanket. That is where my thumb rests. So the plastic is the rubbery part is literally peeling off. And that's right where my thumb sits. And I think my fingernail hits it and it just peels off. So I'm not real happy with that. Because I really, really love these hooks. But I do have another handle. I might just have to cut my fingernail. But problem solved. There was no more residue buildup on this. And the reason I know that there's a chemical or something on this yarn is because, and I told this story in the membership video, to clean this off, I was grabbing my shirt. And I'd rub and rub and rub. And I'd buff out whatever was building up, causing my hook to slow down significantly through the yarn. And at one point I licked my finger and I rubbed, and then I rubbed it and buffed it again. I used the same finger and licked it again, and this time it tasted really strong of chemical. So there's something on that yarn, I'm thinking like a fabric softener of some sort, that causes buildup with some hooks. So if you do have that problem, switch hooks. And I always say that if you're having problems with a yarn, it might not be the yarn, it might be the hook and the yarn combination. So always switch hooks. Switching hooks solve the problem. I got the blanket done. It's beautiful. I'm happy. One major issue I had, I told you guys I was playing yarn chicken with this thing. I was playing yarn chicken. I lost. So I had 3 cakes. And this blanket, I measured it the other day, was 30 something by 40 something. And now it is even bigger than that because I added a border. I'll measure it in a minute. I got all the way to the corner like predicted and ran out. So I had, the only thing I had similar to this yarn was Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek. And this is the color Violet Stripe. I did a review with that yarn. Now, looking at the blanket, this purpley part, I was like, okay, that's similar enough, right? Right? It's really close. I didn't realize that the inside of that ball was significantly darker. So the corner just looks slightly out of place, but it's not, I mean, it doesn't bother me at all. And I don't think it's going to bother whoever gets this blanket. And to make this color actually in the blanket, I did 2 rows of white and 1 row of purple. But see how this color looks closer to this and doesn't match this color at all? Because this is a striping darker to lighter ombre effect yarn. So it goes from this color to this color. That's the same ball. And I can show you on this corner. Was it this corner? No. One of the corners. One of the corners is significantly darker where I started. I think. Here it is. Okay. Same yarn. It is drastically different colors. It's fine. I'm like, it's a baby blanket. It's not really gonna matter. So I finished this. I'm really happy with it. I think it's pretty. Juju and I was like, Juju, what border should I do on this blanket? And she's all, well, she doesn't know much about crochet. I was like, I was gonna do a solid, or a granny stitch, like the granny squares with the holes in the middle. She's all, I think granny would look better. So this needs to be washed and pulled out a little bit because the stitches wanted to ripple because, you know, whatever. But I think the granny looks really good around the corners. I just think it makes a nice border. So the white that I used for this, which went really well, was Stitch Studio by Nicole. That used to be AC Moore yarn. I actually got this for from premieryarns.com. I think last year they had some of this. And so I was like, you know, and this was a big honkin' skein. So I need to cake that up. So I used most of that. I used about a third of that. And then I used 3 balls of the mandala. So, doing pretty good. I still am using up yarn. And then these took up almost 3 cakes of yarn for the hat and the cowl. So I did pretty good this week. I am still making lots of progress plowing through my yarn. I don't know why I'm folding this because I know it's just going to end up undone it, but I still have to weave in my ends. Lots of ends to weave in. So yeah, that's what's going on. I got a couple of comments telling me I look tired again. I told Mr. Cinema, I said, that's just a polite way to say you look like crap. You know, I was tired last week. I had some stuff going on. It's making me extra tired, but everything's good. I am taking care of myself. I am getting the rest that I need. So I'll fold it up. And it's so pretty. This side looks prettier. So, yeah. One more blanket. I think I'm going to be done with blankets for a while. Because, you know, that's 3 blankets in just a couple of weeks. Like, that's more than enough blankets. So that's really what's been going on this past week. I told you guys it was my niece's birthday this weekend. She had a really good birthday. We got her a new suitcase and a winter coat because she needed both of those things. I forgot to give her this box of Kit Kat, so I'm going to give those to her in a few minutes. Not that she needs any sugar because she's hyper. She's in another room. She's so hyper. She has a lot of Lucas's little man's characteristics and quirks and loudness and obnoxiousness. So, yeah. And today, while you guys are watching this, I have to take her to an orthodontist appointment and then back over the mountain and take her home to college. And then my house will be a little bit more quiet, but not really quiet. So I'll get some more crocheting done though. But now, since I just finished that blanket, I have to think of something new to start. But I have some ideas I'm working on. I'm starting to think Christmas. I'm starting to think of, I might want to make some Christmas ornaments this year. I don't know if I'm going to make another tree skirt. There's lots of things I can make. I also want to make because I knit this cute little pumpkin. I want to make a candy corn to go with him, but with bigger eyes. So I'm like thinking about all the holidays right now. If you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, I posted a little video of my my outdoor Halloween decorations, the insanity that is outside. We worked really hard getting all the lights up, and it was a lot. It made me so happy to get the lights up. It made me so joyous to just have my yard. And what's kind of cool is, you know what? I'm not going to send you guys to Instagram and all that. I'm going to put the video on the end of this that I created. It's just a video. It's a couple of video clips and a couple of picture clips of the yard. I'll put it on here so you guys can see it. Because I know you guys liked that last year. I have 2 new blow-ups this year, and it just makes me so happy. And it also makes me happy that we are the house in the neighborhood that everybody knows. So they know that at Halloween and at Christmas we decorate, and so they make it a point to drive by at night, and they make it a point to take walks at night and drive by and let the little kids look at the house, which makes me happy, makes my heart happy. And the reason Halloween is such a big deal to us, and the reason we decorate, we make Halloween night such a big deal, is we enjoy Halloween. I always have, but Chris's grandpa, I've talked about grandpa a lot on this channel. He loved Halloween, and it was a secret, and we didn't realize this until after he passed away, because he passed away in October. I think it was 7 years ago now. He passed away in October, and he had already purchased all of his goodies for trick or treat. And California has some weird cremation laws that his funeral couldn't take place because he couldn't get cremated until after a certain period of time because of environmental laws or something to do with the smog and all of it. And so it was actually little man's first Halloween that he went trick-or-treating. And so he was like 1.5 when this all was occurring. And so we drove to California from Virginia, and we celebrated Halloween, and Grandma wanted to honor Grandpa, and so she asked us to make little goodie bags like he normally would. And he had little bead necklaces and little like boxes of crayons and little tiny coloring books and candies, and we made these little bags for him and we passed them out. Well, mostly Mr. Cinnamon did, because I took my kids trick-or-treating. There's a whole nother story behind that, but there was some of the plastic beads left over, and I took one of the gold ones and I wrapped it around the urn that was sitting on the fireplace. And years later, we went back a couple years later, and I looked up at the urn and I go, Grandpa still has my beads on. And Grandma goes, you're the one that put them up there? And I said, yeah. She's all, I didn't know who put them up there, but I figured he deserved to wear them. And so like that was very special to me, because I'm not blood related to them, but they have always accepted me as family and treated me better than my own. And seeing how big of a deal Halloween was to Grandpa, we started decorating even more than we normally did on behalf of him in his memory. And so some of the neighbors actually know that, because my neighbor across the street lives on a steep incline, and I have asked her several times, can I just use her yard to photograph my front yard? I didn't do that this year. but I would send the pictures to Grandma. And so the Halloween decorations are kind of a big deal. They're a sentimental thing for us, aside from us really enjoying Halloween. And I think that's another way that Chris remembers his grandpa, because his grandpa was a big influence on his life, and he absolutely adored Juju. When Juju was about 1.5, they have a lip around the fireplace, and it's cement. It's like, it's not cement, it's brick. It's really nice brick fireplace. And there's like a lip that goes around, and she was standing on it next to Grandpa's chair. And Mr. Cinnamon always said, Grandpa's this big scary guy. He's a Navy guy. He's like, you know, rough around the edges, and you listened when Grandpa talked. Grandpa even scared a grizzly bear off one time. Like, you know, you didn't mess with Grandpa. And my beautiful little daughter, 1.5 years old, she was stepping up on the and it's only like a 2-inch ledge, up on the ledge and then back down, and she's right next to Grandpa. Grandpa's trying to watch TV, and she was going toot toot when she stepped down, and then back up, toot toot, toot toot. And about 15 minutes in, Grandpa looked at her and goes, all right, that's enough. And she looked at him and smiled and went, toot toot. And Mr. Cinnamon, who's always obeyed Grandpa because he knew better, he started to yell at her. He's like, come on, Juju, come on. You know, Grandpa said no. And she went, toot toot, toot toot. And Grandpa looked as he started laughing because he knew he was beat. And then the next day, or like a couple days later, she was standing at their coffee table, and in the coffee table was drawers and puzzles in the drawers, like kid puzzles and just all the grandma stuff, you know, like cool puzzles, and like a book of puzzles and magnetic puzzles, and like they have this really cool magnetic puzzle that makes noise, and it's the United States, which is kind of cool for us because we've traveled back and forth just to see them, so it's nice to see the maps, and it's just cool. She's standing there, she's got puzzle pieces everywhere, all over the floor, all over the table. Mr. Cinnamon goes in there, and he's all, Juju, come on, we need to pick this up, you're making a mess. She's 1.5, you know. And Grandpa looked at Chris and he goes, leave her alone, she's playing. And Mr. Cinnamon walked away. So, yeah, decorating for Halloween's a big deal for us. So, I'm going to let you guys go. I know this is a short Monday video, but it is late on the evening and there's a lot going on this week. Like I said, I'm really hot and I should probably go assist Mr. Cinnamon. He's cooking dinner currently. We're having a late dinner, and Pumpkin Spice wants me to dye her hair. And so, I got to change my clothes to do that. So, I'm going to let you guys go. Stay tuned for the Halloween decorations and enjoy them. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow. No promises, but hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.